It's your boy Devon Freeman, and today we're back with another video. Today we are reacting to If Domain Expansions Were in My Academia by Torta Quirk. Again, since our last video, since my last video had went good, it had got to like 1,000 views and 27 likes. I said, why might I do another video and see what this video do? So yeah, I wanted to do a part 2 on the video. So here it goes. Let's get started.
Jujutsu Kaisen, it's natural that one for all would still be his curse technique. However, to keep things fair, it'd have to work a lot differently. As we know, one for all gives Deku raw physical strength that's clearly above anyone in JJK, not to mention he has 6 additional quirks including Black Whip, Smokescreen, and a bunch of other things. Putting it simply, it just feels out of place in Jujutsu Kaisen, and so to fix this, I modified One for All into a curse technique inspired by Hikari and Higuruma. Like these two characters, Deku's technique comes with a built-in domain expansion, which for him would be the only way to use his technique. The name of this domain is Vestige Soul Arena, and it works by tapping into Deku's brain and creating an environment based on one specific memory. By now, we've all seen that One for All contains memories from each past user, and Vestige Soul Arena uses that to its advantage. When activating the technique, Deku is presented with 9 memories from his own life, and he has to choose one of them as the theme of his domain. All 9 themes come with their own unique effect.
That nigga gotta choose the strongest one.
So the choice Deku makes will determine what his domain can do and also what it looks like. For example, the sports festival theme is based on his memory of that event, and if selected, his domain takes on the appearance of the UA Stadium. Like every domain out there, the stadium comes with a guaranteed attack that can't miss, which is also sometimes referred to as a sure hit. The stadium's sure hit is that it instantly drains cursed energy from anyone trapped inside until all they're left with is 5%.
Damn. So that means even if even if someone tries to escape, someone could say, "Don't run, nigga. Don't trip." And look, that mean wherever that nigga punches, yeah, it automatically hit the person until that nigga is down on that nigga knees. Fire ability.
This is a direct reference to how, at the time of the UA Sports Festival,
no matter where that nigga hits, it always making shots.
Midoriya's body could only handle 5% of One for All. Vestige Soul Arena applies that 5% rule to anyone trapped inside the stadium, with the one exception being Deku himself. Understandably, as owner of the domain, he doesn't lose anything, and instead he temporarily gains all the curse energy that was taken from his opponent. In that sense, the purpose of the sports festival theme is to turn the tables against anyone who has massive reserves of curse energy and essentially use their own strength against them. The downside, however, is that the victim still does have access to their curse technique, and so, if they're skilled enough, they might still be able to win even with just 5% curse energy left. Now, before we explore the 2 most powerful themes, I wanted to quickly break down the general rules of this domain. Rule number 1 is that once a theme is selected, it is impossible to change it, meaning the choice should be made carefully depending on who the opponent is.
And if he picks a weak skill, then he gotta stick with it unless it's actually OP. But if it's a weak skill, then he won't be able to do nothing with it. He just gotta thug it out.
Rule number 2, although Midoriya is one of the few characters to have multiple options for his guaranteed hit, none of them are designed to kill his opponent. This makes his domain less fatal than the ones we've seen, but in exchange...
Wait, is it a skill? No, I mean, forget what I said. Domain is a place where he puts his domain something. Forget what I just said.
This drawback, it can be activated in 0.4 seconds. Rule number 3 is that before he opens the domain, Midoriya's technique doesn't really do anything, but inside the domain he can use certain abilities depending on the theme. Rule 4, nearly all of the effects in Vestige Soul Arena are limited to 9 minutes, so for instance, Deku's curse energy boost would end after that period. Finally, Rule 5 is that hidden inside Vestige Soul Arena are 8 secret themes based on the memories of past One for All users. Midoriya has the option to unlock these memories by making a binding vow with himself, but the vow would require him to sacrifice the fast activation speed of his domain. Anyhow, it's time to move on to the two strongest themes Deku has, the first of which is the Vestige World. If selected, it transforms his domain into the inner world of One For All, containing 8 Shikigami under his control. Each Shikigami takes on the appearance of a previous One For All.
Hey, and if he can, like, if I think what he thinking, if he can stack his power on top of each other, right? Then he'll be OP. Like I knew it, cause it would be more better if that nigga had Starlight or whatever that girl name is power. I'm sure was like stronger than All Might, but she would like resemble All Might. But yeah, or no, y'all knew since it's My Hero Academia. But yeah, if that nigga had that power, then all his other powers that he stacks on, they'll be stronger too.
Older, while also possessing a variation of their ability. In terms of usefulness, I'd rank them on a similar level to Megami's Great Serpent, so not the worst, but also not exactly the best. Luckily for Midoriya, the danger of this theme doesn't come from the individual Shikigami, but instead it comes from what happens when they're combined. By reciting an incantation, Deku can merge all of them together to form this super Shikigami called the Divine Symbol of Peace. This divine symbol has boundless curse energy comparable to Rika and physical strength closer to All Might than any Jujutsu Kaisen character. Essentially,
wait, did I say it could be he can use that right there? Wait, that mean he can use it like Megami did. That mean he can use it like Megami did to fight against Sukuna, but that nigga Megami has so lost. But like Deku, since it's All Might, he can have his powers all stacked together, like I said, and he'll be more stronger.
Divine Symbol of Peace. This divine symbol has boundless curse energy comparable to Rika and physical strength closer to All Might than any
He won't be the one that's fighting. All Might will.
Jujutsu Kaisen character. Essentially, he's an indestructible god that Midoriya can control for 9 minutes, but once the time is up, the symbol reverts back into the 8 separate Shikigami. By the way, if you're wondering about the Sure Hit, this theme's Sure Hit effect is Black Whip, because it's meant to buy Deku enough time to do the incantation. Now,
I want to be rich! Wishing for more money? All you need is your phone. No!
Next up, the final theme of Vestige Soul Arena that we're going to discuss is the one related to Overhaul. During that storyline, there was a crucial moment where Mirio lost his quirk, Deku then shows up, and then Eri rewinds his body so he can keep fighting.
Cool ass moment though, by the way.
At 100%. Because the Overhaul theme is created from this memory, the Sure Hit disables the technique of whoever Deku's fighting. Without a technique, his opponents can't use their domain expansions if they have one.
Damn. That mean he'll be pummeled. That mean, wow. Deku is not like losing something. Well, Deku is not using his full power. He can drain his opponent's power, and then he'll basically win.
And more than that, they're forced to fight using just curse energy alone. This would be bad news for anyone who heavily relies on their technique, and even for the elite sorcerers, not being able to use your domain or technique is a massive disadvantage. For Midoriya though, his technique would still be active, and inside of this specific theme, it'd give him super strength and super speed that no other theme gives him access to. In the comments down below, let me know which option you personally think is the best out of the 3 we've seen. And
oh yeah, chat. If like I said, like I said in part 1, if y'all had like 8 domain expansion, what would it be, and how would y'all be able to use it? Also, any anime character like My Hero Academia character had the same thing, how it would be used. Same thing.
And at the end of the video, I will be explaining one more that I didn't get the chance to talk about. Now, switching over to the only student from Class 1B in this video, Monoma is next on the list. In My Hero, Monoma has the power to copy other people's quirks by touching them, however it does come with a few limitations. To me, his main issue is the timer, because when he was first introduced, he could only copy quirks for a maximum of 5 minutes, although to be fair, later on he did improve that to 10. Regardless, the time limit is why his costume design has all of these watches, since Monoma constantly needs to be aware of how long each quirk will last.
Yep. And if that time limit like runs out when he's fighting, yeah, he's cooked.
His domain expansion takes inspiration from this, hence why the name is Cursed Clockwork. Similar to Infinite Void, the aim of Cursed Clockwork is to overwhelm your opponent to the point where they can't realistically fight back. Scattered across this domain are exactly 5 clocks, all moving.
Hey yo, that might be more like better than Deku's power. That might be.
At different speeds, with the one behind Monoma being the Master Clock. This Master Clock is the only one that follows the proper flow of time, while the remaining clocks move at 1%, 10%, 20%, and 50% of the Master Clock speed. When someone's trapped inside this space, the sure hit effect alters their perception of time by applying the speed of each clock to different parts of the brain. For example, thanks to Sukuna, we know that a person's curse technique is stored in the right prefrontal cortex, and if the 10% clock was applied to that region, the victim's technique would operate at 10% its normal speed. In other words, imagine it took Megami 10 times longer for his Shikigami to take form, or if it took Todo 10 times longer for his clap to act.
I mean, they won't be able to you. It will basically mean like they're going in slow motion while the person that finding them would be defeating them. No, beating their ass outside of the time frame thing. So you'll be fighting them, pushing them wherever they do, while they is still trying to use that same move, that one move. That's crazy.
Actually do anything. That lack of speed could literally be the difference between life and death. And again, this is just one example of how Cursed Clockwork operates. At its full potential, the sure hit targets 5 areas of the brain that control sight, movement, hearing, thinking, and curse technique, forcing them to operate at their own speeds. The end result is a severely confused person whose mind would be just so out of sync with their body. And for Monoma, it's basically an instant win. As a side note, Monoma's everyday regular curse technique would operate in the same way as his quirk, so when opening Cursed Clockwork, it's possible he has a bunch of other techniques ready to use as well. Following this, we have Grandiose Monument of Destruction, which is the name I decided to give Shigaraki's domain. Usually, in order to decay someone, Shiggy has to make physical contact either with that person or with the ground itself. Because of this, heroes like Endeavor were able to avoid getting killed in Season 6 simply by flying in the air. However, inside this domain, there's no way that could work, because Grandiose Monument of Destruction.
And look, Shigaraki from the start is already strong as hell, nigga. That domain expansion is just making him stronger.
Works in a similar way to Mahito's domain, in that, being inside it is literally like being in Shigaraki's hand. As a result, decay will reach them regardless of where the victim is.
While he's playing checkers, while you are playing checkers, he is playing chess, nigga. He have you in the palm of that nigga hand. Damn, I stuttered that much. What the hell? That nigga has you in the palm of his hand.
As the sure hit affects everyone inside the space except Shigaraki himself. In terms of the design, I felt like a city worked well as the background, because firstly, this environment is where his hatred for Hero Society first began. It's also what his inner vestige world looks like, and by my count, he's destroyed.
Everybody's cooked, nigga. There's no defeating that nigga. It's only making that nigga stronger.
Destroyed multiple cities throughout the series, including Jakku, Deika, and another one more recently in the manga. Flashing forwards to Ochako, her domain is a pretty interesting one called Maximum Gravity. As we know, in normal circumstances,
she can make voids, like black holes, black other stuff. If she could, then that would be a badass power.
Ochako's power lets her remove the effect of gravity on whatever she touches, causing that person or object to just float in the air. Now, if you were to put her in the Jujutsu Kaisen universe, it's reasonable that over time, she'd have the potential to learn Curse Technique Reversal. Curse Technique Reversal is what happens when you use positive energy to power your technique, and usually it results in your technique doing the opposite of its normal function.
This is a meal. Saucy chicken Roma. Stacked spicy steak.
In Ochako's case, this would mean increasing the effects of gravity instead of removing it, and this is what brings us to her domain. In this space, the sure hit allows her to fully control the gravitational force on whoever's trapped inside. For example, the second her domain
Dang, that means she can it's basically like gravity. She had the power to like bend space and time, nigga. She can like make you fall. No, like no, like if she really want to, she can like pump you to the ground. Like shit. I know the power, but it can't like get out of my mouth. Like
open, she could crush someone without
yeah, crush. Yeah, she can crush you without like staying there, and then she like I think she could like also pick you up and like throw you, nigga. She basically can do like anything that her power is basically like a black void.
even touching them by turning up the gravity till it's thousands of times stronger than Earth. Technically, the option is also there to let her opponent float before smashing them into the ground, but, you know, that would probably kill someone, so I'd imagine that she'd save that for cursed spirits. By the way, as you can tell, the appearance of the domain is inspired.
That nigga had put it in the exact words, but clearly, what I was trying to say.
By a black hole, specifically the black hole from Interstellar, because I figured with a name like Maximum Gravity, it wouldn't really make sense for it to look like anything else. Anyhow, Todoroki is the final student on this list, and his domain would easily be one of the most fatal. In this universe, I do imagine Shoto would have insane amounts of curse energy, probably around the same tier as Yuta and Gojo as well, and his technique would let him convert that into seemingly endless amounts of ice and fire. When it comes to his domain expansion, it'd take the form of a palace made completely of ice, and there were a couple reasons for this. In my opinion, when Shoto was first introduced, he had a certain...
Wait, so that means he can create his own throne. He can be king.
Aura around him, like he was a level above everyone else, and that's partly true because of his overpowered quirk and the fact that he got into UA because of recommendations, and also because his dad is the second best hero in the country. In fact, one of the early chapters described him as the boy born with everything, and you know, despite his crappy childhood, I'd say he still gave off the vibes that he was, you know, he wasn't a normal person like everyone else. For that reason, a palace made of ice did seem
that nigga was just like strong as hell from the back.
Appropriate, and
I mean off the back.
It functions in a similar way to the smallpox deity's domain. When trapped inside Frozen Fiery Palace, his opponent instantly gets frozen in a block of ice, and they're given a countdown of 5 seconds to break free. As we've seen, breaking free from this isn't the easiest thing in the world, and in this universe, if you can't at least move your arms, then yeah, you're pretty much screwed. Without any movement, there's no way to do anti-domain techniques like Hollow Wicker Basket or Simple Domain.
And that is crazy too, because look, every time like the JJK characters, they gotta move their hand. But like, what if Itadori? No, not Itadori. Shit. Sasuke. What that nigga name is again? The hell? I'm just gonna call that nigga Iceman because I forgot that nigga name. Iceman can basically like freeze your ass, freeze your arm, stop you from using your powers before you even have to like chance to like do something.
Domain, and yeah, for a lot of sorcerers, hands are also necessary for their own curse technique. So yeah, overall, this 5-second challenge would be impossible for a lot of people. Once the 5 seconds,
you won't be able to do nothing. You'll be basically be frozen.
Are over, the domain rapidly heats up, instantly boiling the ice with the victim trapped inside. This results in an explosion of steam, severely burning Shoto's opponent and possibly killing them, depending on how tough they might be. With that said, my friends, that was the final domain expansion.
Nigga, what about Bakugo? Nigga, his power would have been cool as hell. But yeah, hey chat, I know I was like rambling on and on. Hope y'all hope y'all thought it had made sense. But he did have explained it better than me, than what I could explain it. But yeah, hope y'all like the video. If y'all didn't like, subscribe and comment. That would have been crazy if we seen Bakugo's like domain extensions. It would have been better than Deku's. I know that. Boy, he do got like a good power. Deku do got a good power. Shigaraki got a good power too. And I won Clock Man. But yeah. Hope y'all liked the video. We out and peace.